Welcome back to High Gain Guitar Academy. My name is Neil. Today we're gonna do the scales warm-up. Before I perform or go on stage or whatever, warming up is important. And scales are a great way to both loosen up but also get focused. For the sake of the warm-up, we're gonna use a clean sound. Fun fact, most of the time when I'm warming up, my guitar isn't even plugged in. I just pace around a lot working on my scales. But so you can hear me, and for clarity, we're gonna use a clean sound. Now I'm choosing to use the pentatonic and some variations of the pentatonic scale because we all know it so well. We've used it so many times over the years in so many songs and so many situations that we have a lot of muscle memory behind it. When I use that scale, I don't have to think about how to play it. I can just play it and think about technique and focus on other things. Kind of like I didn't have to think about all the letters in that word, I just spoke the word because I've said it so many times, I just know how to speak the word and I can move on. We're gonna start out with the basic A minor pentatonic scale. We're just gonna go biggest string to smallest and then in reverse. Now I know that seems pretty simple, and it is in many respects, but it's more of an exercise in timing and clarity than anything at this point. So let's try it one more time. Of course, as I get more comfortable with it, I can speed that up. As I repeat the scale, I'll get faster, I'll get smoother at it, my technique will improve, and I'll start to be able to get rid of any holes in my Swiss cheese. Now, something else I might do with that basic pentatonic scale is add in multiple picks per note. So instead of just doing each note one time, I may do them twice, 3 times, 4 times. I'll give you some examples. All right, let's move on to the second pattern I'm gonna give you today. On this one, we're gonna start with the E string, skip over the A and go straight to the D. Then come back to the A, jump over the D to the G, come back to the D, jump over to the G to the B. So we're basically coming back one each time. It's a good example of string skipping, which you're actually going to use in a lot of songs. I think sometimes practicing scales is a great idea, but it becomes very just like stock, like something you got off the shelf and you wouldn't actually play it that way in a song. So changing up this basic scale and adding your own patterns to it is really more of a practical use of it because it's how you might actually play it in a song. The third pattern today is going to be the pentatonic scale using every string, but every other string, we're going to reverse direction. So we're going to start out 5-8 on the big E, and then 7 back to 5 on the A. Then on D, 5-7, on the G, 7-5. So you see we're going to reverse direction each time. Here we go. There's a lot of variations you can do on that using different fingers, barring a little bit, just finding your own way to make that work for you. It's a good technique. I use it a lot. For the fourth pattern, we're going to go 3 strings in, E, A, D, come back to A, and go A, D, G, come back to D, D, G, B, and so on. always have fun with these. It gives a little variety, breaks up the monotony of a warm-up, and you can get a little bit creative too. The next pattern, the fifth pattern, is gonna be a little more complicated. Again, we're using the entire pentatonic scale, but we're gonna go 3 notes in and then back a note. Now notice I said 3 notes in. So 1, 2, 3, and then go back 1 note to start the next group of 3. So again, I did 3 notes, went back a note, go back a note, go back a note, and so on. Our fifth and final pattern using the pentatonic scale is similar to the last one, but a little bit bigger, a little bit more broad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 5 notes into the pentatonic scale and come back 3 notes. So in 5 notes, out 3. Then we're going to start the pattern again from the next string. And then from the next string. And then from the G finally. And I like to stop on the octave because, I don't know, just OCD. It just feels better to do that. So here we go again without pausing. So there you go. There's several examples of how you can use the pentatonic scale to warm up and switch it up and have some fun with it. But you can also use your traditional scales like the traditional major and minor scales. And the minor. Those are also great to run up and down. I mean, there's so many different shapes of scales. I'm trying to just give you like a basic warm-up that I do. Of course, there's other like really specific licks and scales from songs and things that I'll practice too. But when it comes to just working out basic scales so I can get my technique down and get the fingers warmed up, these are kind of what I start out with. So there you go, 5 examples of how we can use the pentatonic scale, not just to warm up, but maybe to get outside of your comfort zone, get a little bit more creative, but mostly just to warm up before getting into some more serious playing. I've used these for years and I will continue to, and I'm always telling you guys like how important it is to stay on top of your fundamental skills, the things you first started learning when you're playing guitar. Those will always travel with you throughout the years. So once again, take it, learn it, love it, use it. See you next time.